Artem, the stage is yours. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for spending this evening, or for some people, I guess it's morning, with us. We really appreciate your time. And I guess can we go to the first section, or maybe you want to tell something before?
Thank you, Diana, very much. I would probably encourage people also to ask question, even during my talk. I don't want it to be maybe one-sided and just me talking 1.5 hours. So, if you have any questions, or if you have, even if you have some comments and you want to add to our conversation, I would really appreciate that. So please don't hesitate and feel free to drop in. Feel free to drop in the comment. Yeah, thank you.
So, basically, we received the most amount of questions we received about career paths and transition to engineer manager. So, I guess a lot of people here, they want to try their chances in this career path. And that's some of the questions that we gathered. And yeah, maybe you have one answer for all of them, or maybe you have separate answer. I'll just read all of them, and then we can, I guess, move forward.
No, let's even maybe get to the one slide back. So basically, moving
Okay.
to the engineering manager path, right?
Yeah.
In previous company, one of my vice CTO or VP of engineering told me this, like, Artem, there is a three main pillars in engineering management. Basically, it's technical part, right? It's project management, and then it's people management. And if second two we can help with, and maybe go like teach you through the when you coming into the company, to the careers, like management part, the people part is probably the most important one. So getting back, let's think about the three main paths in engineering management, and I think it's a base on which I will answer the questions that will follow up the next. And now let's go to the questions, probably.
Wonderful. So here are the questions. I don't think I will read them because basically everyone can see them. Usually I read the questions from the chat so people on the video can have them. But since the questions are already on the video, so I guess you can just go one by one.
Yeah. Let's start from the first one, right? What's the main difference between front-end lead of front-end team lead, right, and engineering management responsibilities, and why? I must say here that engineering management is rapidly changing, I would say, career during the time. So when I started maybe about 10 years ago, so engineering management was solely maybe about management, people management, processes and stuff, and it's like it was more what a foolish time, I would say, and this was completely maybe separated from technical leadership and stuff. Nowadays, most, like a lot of companies, looking at the engineering management as still as quite technical, and has all person that can lead, I would say, a team of 3 or 4 at its beginning of the engineering management career. And I would say the main difference is usually when you started to become engineering management, you are leading not only maybe front-end team, and you switching between just like thin boundaries between these two roles. And then when you become engineering management, you are getting more responsibilities into one-on-ones, career building, helping people to grow and to probably build their career, understand how it will move forward. Then some of the parts of like maybe raises, salary expectation, managing this like reviews, yearly or yearly one, and so forth. So to be honest, it's really in the small details, and it's really depending on the company and how established the process inside the company. Because, for example, if you're working in quite startupish environment, it can be anything. So you, as a front-end lead, you can also do all that usually engineering manager does in other companies, and the opposite is also true. So really depends on how mature the company is, how build up the processes in there. Even if the company, some big ones like Google, for example, I like a long time looking in it and went through several courses on project management. They have a big project management part, and so basically each role is established and even written on paper. And comparing to some small companies, when you can do very many hats, so called, and do many things, definitely it can be two different roles. And FE lead can say afterwards and change the title to engineering manager in this company, and nobody will know, I would say like that. So sorry, maybe I repeat myself, but it's real world. So one of the things that we're reading in the book, second one is that we actually see in the real world. How to better leverage technical knowledge to advance from a technical role to a leadership. I would say the most that need in technical knowledge and to advance into leadership, it's more than not the ability to solve any problem yourself. It's the ability to see the big picture. So the technical knowledge for a manager really helps him it's like if you are moving more towards design stuff and like design of the system, and you can help yourself, your peers, and explain it to the management, sometimes not to the technical leaders. So to be this kind of a bridge between product and then technical guys, and in these terms, technical knowledge is mostly that helping you to also guide your technical team and then give a feedback, explain stuff if they don't understand to non-technical leaders or part of your team. So I think it's the most important part is actually this one, because the upper you become in the ladder of technical leadership, the less your abilities to do something yourself become, and the more just understanding of stuff, how it's built and how the timeline of the features, creation of the features goes and so forth. So not be able to do it yourself, but actually be able to lead the team and explain to them and maybe help them to understand what is required.
Okay, so and also just a reminder, people, if you want to ask any additional questions, or maybe you have comments, from your personal experience, chat is open, so is the raise hand button. So any question, just let us know. So we have a next one.
If you want to, is there any checklist to become an engineering management, right? I think it's easy those days. It really depends. First, I really encourage you, if in your team there is the role like this exists, so bug somebody about it. Ask the question, what I need to learn to become. It's try to find a mentor for yourself. Always a feedback from someone, a direct feedback. So it's better than something from the books. And I would recommend, I think there's a separate question about books recommendation. I will recommend a couple of books that you can read about the topic. Also, not the worst idea to actually ask ChatGPT about how to better prepare for the role and so forth. Sometimes it doesn't give not realistic deadlines maybe and preparation time, but overall the list is quite common. And as I'm explaining you, three main pillars. In those three main pillars, you kind of can in each of them progress, and it's quite a big topic. Each of these pillars is actually quite a wide topic that you can learn almost all your life. Yeah.
And I guess it might differ from company to company, right? So different teams or maybe different companies will need skills from the same kind of position.
Yeah, probably one of the not the worst ideas. Even if you think that you are not ready, go and have an interview for a company. Is it how to say it? maybe you're not dreaming to work in, but actually can give you pretty realistic feedback, and you will see what will be the question for this position, what they're kind of looking for, and so you will have your real life like checklist after that, what actually you need to get better at, maybe. So not the worst idea to talk to somebody in your team so you will have real life kind of feedback, or go to the interview even if you think not ready. Interview by itself is a huge field, and I would say it's separate practice that you need to do time after time. So just go for an interview and like see what is expected for couples of them, maybe even, and they can probably provide you quite a good feedback. With that, it will be emotional. You will definitely not forget it in years future. Yeah, you will remember those questions.
So I guess basically that's kind of answers a next question. Can you evaluate your readiness yourself? So basically, that would be a wonderful idea for this question as well, right? To go for an interview and to actually understand what are the questions, do you have answers for these questions? And if you can pass the interview, even for another company, right?
It's probably a question from persons that don't want to go for interview and actually want to prepare themselves before they will expose themselves to that kind of stress, because interview is always stressful, right?
Yes.
But what I can say to you, you definitely can. In modern world, I think there's quite some. I would name that application, maybe like the kind of school or something, when they do your mock interview. So probably similar that what you can do at lead code at the payment option, right? The mock interview for lead code. There is also a mock interview for engineer management position. There's definitely at least a couple of services that provide that. So you can do that. And will be a good evaluation, I think, real life, because they're usually the engineering managers that doing interview for engineering management have quite a good experience on doing that. They will evaluate you, and it will be quite honest feedback without too much stress, I would say.
Yes.
One of the options I used it when I was preparing to the interview, specifically, I would say you even can mention the companies that you're interviewing for, and actually ChatGPT is quite good at that right now. So why it's giving you specific feedback on specific companies, so you can imagine you saying, I'm preparing for Netflix. There is like, I remember 6 or something values at Netflix that they ask about. There's specific type of interview and how they structure it. It's like usually 30 minutes long call, and they're quite quick, and the expectations that you in 90 seconds you answer the question, so you can have your ChatGPT as a guide for you. Yes. That will ask a question. Not the worst idea if you are really afraid to go to the interview.
Okay, we actually have extra question from Maxim. So I'm working on a small startup, and we don't have enough people to give it to me as engineering manager. What can you propose to do in such a situation?
I'm a bit confused. It's like not enough people give you the title of the engineering manager, or not enough people to give you a manager for yourself. So if you can help me to understand.
If you can please clarify, that would be great.
Yeah, elaborate a little bit. What's exactly the issue here? So you. But let's imagine that it is that Maxim is won the title of an engineering manager and play maybe the lead role,
case,
right?
That actually there is, not enough people to become an engineering manager.
Yeah. But I would say, there is a huge difference. And usually, even I saw it in the companies, somebody can be labeled as a, leader, manager or something, and somebody can be a real leader. the people that like the person that everyone going to and ask if they have troubles, that helping everyone, that everybody knows that if they have a questions, go to this guy, right? For in this example, go to Maxim and ask him about. He will usually help them. So my suggestion, if you want to grow in this direction, just become a leader in your company. Just help. I want to try.
Actually, Maxim mentioned that I want to try my skills and implement process as engineering manager.
You basically, in most companies, you have a green light, especially if it's a small startup company, kind of nobody will punish you for that. So there's some situation where you will be punished for your initiative, but in most of the cases and most of the business, they actually understand that somebody whose initiative like is helping the business to thrive. They just need to find a way to appreciate that, so that they will do notice. So I really suggest to you to maybe I'll give later some books, just like read these books. Try to understand what help you can provide, because basically engineering manager is a person who become helpful. I will even give you it was my path actually in the engineering management a bit. So I was an engineer at the company. It was a rather small startup, but I was trying to, when I saw the processes is not working or the things it's not optimal, even up to I had a big battle with those day my CTO about switching to continuous delivery, continuous deployment, because we deployed once a month. It was a big headache because everyone needs to get prepared. Then we rolled back because too many changes was squeezed into this one deployment, and I was suggesting him CI/CD. He was terrified, I would say, but I tried to explain to him, man, that's like everyone will deploy when they are ready. There will be no rush. There will be no like pushed in, squeezed in releases because we have the only one window once a month and so forth. And we actually established that, and he was amazed how good it was. So it's like a small example, but still to you, the Maxim, that you can actually try to change the processes, try to improve them in your company, try to help and manage and guide, lead other developers, other people and the processes and them, and even try to be this bridge of communication between product and yourself or your business leaders and the technical team. All that is a part of the engineering manager, as we talked 3 pillars, right? And that becomes basically that will make you an engineering manager just without the title. And I think title is not the most important one. One more thing that we talked about previously, the interview, right? When you will go to the interview and say, okay, I was not engineer manager, but I was doing this, and you will answer all the questions on the interview, what exactly, why, and how. I think you have from me as a hire manager, for example, I would hire as an engineering manager because you already did all that stuff. Actually, one of my engineering managers that I hired, he wasn't without title. He was without title of engineering manager before, but he was just basically doing everything. So he was definitely more than ready, I would say. And recommendation in my team said that he's like quite capable and was doing already all that work. So it was easy hire for me, I would say.
Wonderful. I guess we have actually one more question, but the thing is, I'm reading the chat from my phone, and I guess somebody sent the question personally to my account, but since I am sharing the screen, I cannot open the chat here. So Zoom sometimes is tricky. But we have a comment from Max that I already do most of it that you mentioned. But for example, some specific things like growth and one-to-one are forbidden for me.
Growth and one-on-ones. Well, okay, but nobody forbids you, for example, to maybe talk to people and help them if they have questions and like not officially guide them. So one-on-ones we have like, especially if we work in like somewhere in the office, we can have it near the cooler and some other places. So basically, you can partially take this opportunity and talk with formal things. And forbidden for me, I would say it's big part of engineering management is also managing up. So if you try to understand why exactly your management is not giving you that, and maybe convince them that you are ready, they will benefit from it. There is a chance that you will get this opportunity, right, and you will be promoted at some point. But it all depends from the situation. It's like we can get. Okay, yeah, but I decided to came at some company to the position in America. It would be because they need this thing. You mean if you decide, okay. Well, the question here is that when you switch and you go through interview, once again, you can say that you did it informally and you can explain to the company why exactly you was not like this was not a chance for you, or there was not a role at that time at that company, but what you were actually doing. So it's a little bit like with pet projects that we're showing when we first maybe showing engineering work, right? When developer work, we're trying to show to the hiring manager what exactly we did, why we have this experience, how we do manage people, how we do technical stuff, and how we do maybe one-on-ones and stuff. Not always, I would say, they really need all this experience to be at the past work. Ideally, yes, but once again, if you search for a job that is not requiring that will be 2 or 3 people that you will manage as you managed at previous work, I think that it could be enough.
We also have another question. We can actually answer it now, or maybe we can do it later, since we have kind of block for this as well. So from Rahori, we have a question. Good evening. Management is about a control as well. Could you please share the best practices regarding the control approaches in development from your experience? Thanks.
Control, maybe you can elaborate here. What control does it mean in terms of, especially in terms of in development, my approaches? So I maybe elaborate exactly what you want to hear.
Yes, if you can elaborate, tell us more about this, that would be wonderful.
What exactly do you want to control? Management is about control. You want the quality of your code. You want what's like we will talk about technical pillar. I'm really love to.
People. But yeah. Everyone wants to control people.
Or you want to control people. Yes, what's exactly you want to control? Okay, so what's the question? Fourth question now.
So basically, I guess we kind of answered all of them.
Yep.
Way. We can move while Grigori is giving us the details, so we can actually answer his question properly. I guess we can move to another part, which is daily reality of an engineering manager. So yeah, I guess when we figured what to do with career path, and we already succeeded to become engineering manager, I guess we can go to another part. So how is your working day structure, and how you keep contacts across multiple teams if you work with in multiple projects, if you work with multiple projects, and do you still have time for coding?
Here's a trick. I can answer about my experience, but I'm not sure that my experience is so much of representative. Plus to that, I'm kind of in a director, or let's just say senior engineering management role, right? What it means that I have engineering managers that work for me. So I'm manager of engineering managers. So I can say about my engineering managers is probably that they are spending about 60% of time of actually doing some work, doing some task, reviewing the code, critical bugs here and there, like trying to figure out how to solve it, helping. Usually it's more kind of from the architectural kind of standpoint, helping to solve when they see something that is not fitting overall picture or architecture, redesign stuff and so forth. And also maybe like bottlenecks and like try to basically organize all the stuff, and also helping with the management, all the issue that when people having with the product, with the team, with understanding the context and so forth. So 60% is doing that kind of coding, but it's usually quite depending on which team have which trouble and which process we in and so forth. How to keep the contracts along multiple projects. Well, usually managers need to have this kind of wider view and context. Plus to that, it's good when they grow inside the company, when they work with something one, but then they switch to another one. Content switching, it's like not the easy task and answer, but sometimes even in our company, we try to even help developers to be more in context what's happening among different projects. How we did this, many companies have a guilds, for example, when they discuss what's going on in different parts of the company. For example, how like your payments or your access management work, and for the other teams that are working with feature, and sometimes even switch people between the teams so that they are more knowledgeable on overall how the system works. So for engineering manager, I think it's critical to do a step back and maybe understand fully the full picture how the architecture work in the company. Many, like especially for senior position and even I think for middle, for engineering manager, people asking more. So it's like during the interviews there is no kind of coding interview. It can be code review interview, what engineering manager actually do quite often, because somebody can get ill, it's only one man on the project and so forth, to keep an eye on that. And then second big part is architecture question. One of the reasons, because kind of a lot of companies, I know in some companies there is a separate branch of architects inside the companies, but in many companies actually engineering management plus their technical leaders, they are playing the role of architects. So basically they need to even design features, think how their companies will work in, so you can face a lot of questions like that. Like for example, we are I had on one of the interview, we are building the card for our products, how we will build this card, how we will make sure that we will not missing anything in that card, and that we kind of not have any chance for rebuilding it later, how we will think about it and build it from scratch that everybody can use it, and let's go deeper in it. So you need to be prepared to answer the architectural question and take the later. Usually companies also expect that you not only know how to answer, but that you will lead this architecture inside the company. And this answering the question, do you still have go into the questions of time for coding, agile coding? Myself, I do a little bit, specifically with agents was last I did that we are setting up for our agents. You probably know about it, agents MD, right? But now it's actually, we use in the company not only one agent, that has become a tree of knowledge for the agents. So we try to organize it. And last my commits was actually about that, try to systemize it somehow and organize it across the repositories, how we give the context for our agents so they are doing properly even the pull request kind of part, creating proper pull request and tagging, up to they also need know how our style components are built and they are also taking the style in it. So trying to build all this tree of context for our agents. So last thing that I did, and usually, yeah, most of the companies expect you at least have high level view, but then if needed, do some coding and go to and fix some issues if they are high level kind of issues. We actually start building that because our SEO tried to do some agent coding. Agent wasn't working for him. One of the reasons why I helped to config, so agents gives him what he expects, I would say.
Also, we have, I guess, it's kind of partially answered, but maybe you can elaborate more on this. We have a question from Diana. Can engineer manager role not be technical in terms of hands-on work and be more like a strategic role?
It can be, especially the higher the leadership go, like director and beyond, it become less technical, I would say, and more about leadership, more about the process and building, understanding how to keep the people happy, how to also keep them productive, and keep performance on a good level and all of that. But for engineering management specifically, I would not expect. So still, a lot of company expect your deep technical knowledge and all of that building of the architecture, understanding how the his system is working, why it's not, if and what the issues, what the main issues of the system, how we can effectively elaborate that maybe, and what's kind of in-depth understanding what's holding us and so forth. It's still possible. There is still engineering management roles that are not so technical, but I would say in the past, like 5 years ago, it was maybe half and half of the market. So half of the market was with a non-technical engineering manager, or like it was quite more. Nowadays, more and more expectation from a company that you will also play this architect kind of technical role inside the company. Can't elaborate it fair or not, but I can say that at least what I see in the market, how it's changing. So you can expect and be like that, but the question is that you really widening then your opportunities on the market. I hope I answered this one.
I guess that was the last question for this particular part, so maybe we can move to the next one.
Sure.
So the next one is more about the performance feedback, difficult situations, so more like kind of life experience that you have with people. And yes, so the question that we, very, very often we have on different events about the motivation, how actually a motivated team member, especially when the performance is low. And again, I guess we can also mix this question, how to give feedback without blaming. So what's your secret of negative feedback and how you provide this to your teams?
Overall, I think if you go to Netflix and their value, and Netflix is quite famous of the collecting the great talent, right, and keep them highly productive and kind of motivated, but more of it's like separating, segregating, or hiring the best talent on the market. They did it quite quite good, I would say. The overall expectation from the engineering manager is to be clear and transparent, so to call no surprises. So all of your team know about that what's the expectation from them, what are the speeds that expected at some point, what's the level of delivery for the teammates, and so forth. So basically, when you come up to them with the question, with the performance, they kind of already knew, and all the team knew what's expectation, and that they don't meet it. So I think this level of transparency is actually quite a good one. So second part of it probably, and it's like the feedback without blaming, it's like in network value, they don't clearly said it, but I definitely saw it through the lines that they actually try to build safe environment. What does it mean? It's a relatively new, I would say, terminology from Amy Edmondson, that Harvard Business School professors that first elaborate on that. But what exactly it means is like that feedback that can be given not only from the manager to the employees, but also from the employees to the managers. And the feedback is not really a negative one, but when it's something not working. So honest feedback on things that are not working, even when you are not have the answer how to fix it. And this is really important for professional and really like high performing team with like a lot of new things that you need to implement. So a lot of progress that is expected. This is really important to create the safe environment when you can share, I would say, negative, like constructive feedback. Maybe with reducing some negativity from it, but then to be more transparent and the whole team knowing how it's going on. So that's given that leads us to the answer to the second question: how they give feedbacks without blaming. Then basically, if you see that the person is not like up to your requirements of productivity, so as a manager, your role like it's expected from you, so you give this honest feedback. On the measurements that everybody knows, right? You explain that you can't you can't keep up low performance on the team for long enough, because then it's demotivate all the rest of the team. So it's basically, you see, so from both of you, it's like it's just an expectation, and it's like real life no other way than give the feedback on time and then act on this feedback in timely manner, so your team is basically expecting it from you. If everything transparent and you build this environment when everybody know what's expected of them, and it's like what's the guidelines, what's the limits. Yeah. I hope I answered that question. If you are still not satisfied, I probably with that question I offer some other questions. But if you're not satisfied, please go ahead and ask them in
We
the
don't
chat.
have questions for this part, or maybe somebody's typing it right now. So if you have any other questions about this, don't hesitate to ask. But I totally agree. That's actually a very nice practice when you understand that not only you are the one who will receive comments on your work, but you work in the environment where you can also share your opinions, and this feedback will be valued. But then that's the question, especially from the company side, to actually take out this feedback, because if you are giving people the opportunity to give this feedback, you need to also count on it and change either the processes or anything that the person told you about, right? So
Thank you.
ways.
I'm afraid to be too political here, but we have honest, right, conversation with you, and so honest conversation is like with a cup of tea. Think about it like that. Yeah. So let me be honest with you. So if you will surround your people with that will talk only sweet things to you, and not giving you back the real picture is one of the most dangerous parts for the business. So you will basically become Trump, and we know that Trump fuck up all his businesses basically, and not like lost almost all of them, right? So one of the main things that you can like that the business is afraid of is actually lose the connection with reality. So don't get this honest feedback when something is not working, when something is not optimal, when something is not. That's why actually I think the great teams and even in FX, and they understand that, and they build a culture where they directly saying, okay, we are not a family inside that, but we are a high productive team. In high productive team, we quickly give the feedback back. We give it even transparent. We don't care about the role, but we deliver that feedback. And in many of the companies, a specific word about it, boldness. So we deliver the bold feedback, how it is actually. So to company to keep be keep be transparent, but keep be effective. So not lose the connection with reality, and with that not lose the competition with other businesses that will actually be more in connect with the reality. So I think it's very important.
I remember we had one event also about learning from your mistakes. It was very philosophical meeting, and we were mentioning the thing that if you receive the feedback, don't take it personally, right? Because it has nothing to do with you as a person, as a human being. So I guess that also can be a key to success, how to actually accept the feedback, because it's not even about the providing. Sometimes it's about the accepting what other people say about us.
Actually, I was also teaching a little bit as an engineer manager. You also need to do. I was teaching a little bit people about not only receiving feedback, but also to to push your manager to give you feedback. And also sometimes not always all of your managers will be ideal, that reading many books and so forth, they're all people. So don't hesitate, sometimes go to your manager and ask about feedback. Even with Americans, it's quite often working that they give you all positives and you need to find and grind for this negative one. So the sandwich is so thick, right? Positive, negative. So that you getting only the positive one, and then actually to get the real one and negative one, it becomes a real struggle. So you need to hunt for that one. And actually what I see in my team that we actually trying to do that. All of my engineering managers try to hunt for the negative, like constructive negative feedback, because people not always willing to do to give you that. But then you are surprised that you was fired or something. Some changes happened because I definitely encourage you to do that. Actually, not only for receiving or giving, right? But be clear, but also try to give it back from the higher management, so-called managing up, to try to see the problem before they like accumulate and become a bigger one.
Yeah, and also know what to develop, right? So basically, what skills maybe needs to be enhanced and all these kind of things.
Yeah. This is kind of question in terms of what is not ideal. So first can be wrap up in terms of what do you think I can improve, or what do you think if we will be golden if I do, or what do you think will give us tremendous progress next year if we change in the team or in mine, maybe what do you think will be the best thing if I learn for the next year? So all this question really valid. If your manager doesn't provide you this feedback, try to get it this kind of way. By asking the questions how to maybe improve and how to make his life easier. So it's also the question is like what things that I will do will make dramatically your life better next year and so forth. Yeah.
So then after feedback, we have the success. So let's talk about the success and about some metrics that maybe you use. So how the success is measured? So do you have any KPIs? How you measure the team performance, the retention, the delivery predictability? Do you have any measurements? And also we received a very interesting question about drones. I mean, I promised that I will put all questions that we have. So yeah, we're going to talk about drones as well. Why they're the key.
Well, let's start with the drones. With
Yes, let's
most,
start with drones.
with the, I think they changed basically. If we are talking about drones and so forth, we can't talk about the recent war, right? That's going on right now. And yeah, I also encourage you to donate, and it's great that Svitla is doing that. But we can not to talk about like Russian-Ukrainian war, right? And they changed basically the battlefield and keep changing, I would say. And they are the key because they was this game changer, I would say. They changed how the modern war now look like. And you probably, like most of you, heard about this, even when the Ukrainians are now going to like tactical games, or how it's called with the NATO forces. They actually destroy everyone before they even came close to the because and that like the other military say also, can you switch out your drones because we like you're destroying us even we can't do anything. So because the rapid innovation can sometimes dramatically change the field. I think what's a little bit that what's happening with AI and engineering right now. This is like a rapid innovation that some even of the companies don't know where to put and how it will change our life and our next day. Definitely influence a lot. But it's also still a question how it will change our life and careers in terms of engineering management. I have my specific point of view on that, but we will see. Maybe we'll leave AI for the later. It is a big and interesting topic. But for now, I think I answered the why drones become the key. Let's switch back right to success and engineering management. But we have some questions, right?
We have just the comment from Martin that he needs to leave earlier and that he's thankful for this event. And I hope that's the emotion that everyone is experiencing right now, to be happy and thankful. Yes.
Thank you. KPIs and metrics. Look like at least 3 big teams that I worked as an engineer manager before this start. It was kind of smaller startups, right? So Exabeam there were the 2,000 plus, Playtika was 5,000 plus, and now Corva was like half of 1,000 people, right? And depending on the team, and you understand the scale of the team, the KPI can be more or less established. The numbers or the metrics can be more or less like, I don't know, focused or known and well known. Almost in all of these companies, people try to do the performance review at least one a year. Manager get feedbacks and some teammates get feedback. So-called 360 at least on papers accumulated once per year, at least one per year in all of these companies, right? The retention is itself also a metric. So the manager looked at how much they can retain the people, and the company retains the people, the team performance. And then because of that, it's like that we are measuring quite differently. We also measure performance of the team quite differently and performance of the people quite differently. So it can be KPIs, it can be OKRs, it can be whoever the project manager likes. So really, really different in different teams. So if I like, let's like compare. If I get to Playtika, where it was all really established, when you then even draw the graph of person's quality and what is missing and so forth, it's like you basically have all the cards to do a quite deep performance review with the to the point KPIs for every person. And then for the team, for example, you have even money KPIs, for the studio, how much money the studio needs to bring in this quarter, based on that, you have then bonuses and all of that. So it's one of the way of doing it. In some smaller ones, even you come up as an engineering manager and say, oh guys, let's at least have DORA techniques. Let's at least look on our incidents and how many incidents was last year, this year, how we improved and so forth. Let's at least use some data and metrics to evaluate the people, how much did they input, and you're trying to convince management not to look on the line of code produced. So really depends on the company, depends on how established the processes is, and how much even higher management understands what KPIs and what do they measure. So I don't know to say to you, there's no ideal, I would say, ruler or the measurement. Overall, you try to work with what you have inside the company and build it to the level of what you can bring, and how to balance, how to not to spend too much time on the measuring everything, but how to actually using the data to your advantage. One of those like best and the easiest was try to implement once again DORA technique. The least you can see, at least look at the bugs, at least measure how like the production downtime, at least measure from this perspective how less than customer satisfaction. In ideal world, always is for me is to connect the team with the money. So how much this specific team can bring the revenue back to the company. It is an ideal world, I think. If you have any other question about and you are interested about KPI measurements, so forth, please don't hesitate. Retention, if I understand correctly, it's a retention of people, right? So it's how many people left or...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not sure because that's the question how we received it, but I guess so, yes.
Delivery predictability. Oh, it's part of the project management that we talked about at the beginning. Delivery predictability is a tricky thing because yes, it depends on, for example, how good is your team at estimation, and but it also second part it depends on how big of your is the scope creep in you, how many changes through the sprint, I don't know, to the product life or some you are actually getting project life. Sorry, you are actually getting. So predictability, yes, is a metric, and no, not only for the team. It's also the metric for the processes. It's also the metric how if you build this product, it's like project chain, right? One after another, things that needs to be critical path. It's called. Sorry, I forgot it. Things that needs to go one after another, and somebody on this critical path is delaying the project, and then the rest of the team trying to keep up to get it on date. So maybe you will get delivery on time or close to on time, but actually the system is not working. So you need to look deeper into it. So delivery predictability is a great thing, but not the measurement by itself, right? And if you more or less can predict accurately and see that the system is more or less working, that okay, you can pat yourself on the shoulders like we built something and so forth, but by itself you still need to be wise about what you looking at and measuring there. Team engagement, the most tricky one probably, how to understand how much team is involved and how much. Let's probably get back to retention and stuff like that. What I tried to do also it's getting back to the feedback, right? I tried almost in all of my company get anonymous feedback for myself and for the team what is actually not working. So once in a year, I definitely encourage any engineering management, and even if you are not engineering manager, to like just create You can do it even in Google spreadsheet, nothing different here. So create a questionnaire where couple questions are asked if you want to, maybe people to get elaborate, but then open question, what you think in company is not working. What is like, and there you can basically, the engagement you measure different ways. One of them may be even retention in one of the measurement, right? So how many people left and why, and actually I encourage you don't neglect the exit interview, because people, when they're leaving, quite often can give you a lot of insight what is not working inside the company. And if you can do that, maybe say, like, how to say it, ask somebody who person is trusting, or HR, or like ask HR to go to them with specific kind of questions to get that feedback. What really is not working, this will show you actually the real life engagement, the real life engagement, retention, what is actually not working, and so forth. But ideally, you see this engagement by the productivity. Also, it will never be, I would say, linear, right? Because people are getting tired from the project, like they have their own maybe like family stuff and so forth. So here it's tricky to measure all that engagement and how much. Different options, but always kind of tricky. Okay, I hope that I ask any additional question, please feel free.
Not so far, but people, we still have a few minutes and we have the last part. Actually, yes, the last part that we have. So if you still have some questions, please write them now. And the last question that we received was about the suggestions, book, courses, maybe videos, maybe anything you want. And you can mention this, and also I will add this to the mailing afterwards. So I will add all the links to our participants, so they will have it. But yeah, please mention anything you would like.
Yeah, definitely will recommend the Manager Pass, a guide for tech leaders navigating through grow and change. Overall good book, maybe with exceptions those couple last chapters you can skip, and they are not so relevant or interesting. We will set the link, so by
also I'm sending the links to the chat as well, so people can see.
What actually I did is like I kind of stole this practice, but I find it exciting and really helpful, and potentially even if you are not engineering manager, you can try to talk with your HR and try to encourage them to do it inside the company. That we have kind of reading club, so to say. So
that's
nice. Ideally, it's reading club where you're not facing your direct managers. So you can talk more freely about the things that you read, and you are reading the chapter inside the book or something smaller, and then you are discussing. The Manager Pass is a bigger book for that. I would not recommend this one. Which one we did, and I think ideally fits to this role is Monday morning leadership. It's actually smaller chapters and good discussions that you can do after it, and it's only kind of 8 mentoring session. But I encourage you, if you want to find some mentor inside your organization, to suggest it to HR and maybe try to find somebody who you will read it with. Overall, it's quite therapeutical experience, I would say, and actually like bumps up the retention of the people, because they kind of find, especially working really good with the distributed team, with different location, because people then meet and understand more like of a personality behind the people from different departments. Otherwise they would probably never met and never had this meaningful, deep conversations. So I definitely encourage it as a practice. Those are two books: Monday Morning Leadership, kind of small but not bad about the leadership and main ideas behind the leadership. The Manager Pass is good one, I would say deep one with a lot of topics uncovered in there. Courses. About the courses, I would probably recommend something about the project management. With that, a lot of people saying that it's not a big part of the engineering management maybe, but still everything that we do is combined to a project. Project is basically from project management explanation. It's like endeavors that have an end life, and it's something that you do with a deadline, right? So everything, almost everything that we do is a project. So project management, not so bad. Course on Coursera from Google. I think you can listen to it for free. Let me think what else for specifically engineering management. I'm not sure. It's so different so I think that Maxim that asked a question and tried to do it inside his team and manage and thought about volunteering it's the ideal path. Try to because I would say engineering management, it's almost everything in here is quite hands-on. So try to find the way where you can implement the knowledge. Couple books is more than enough. I would definitely also, if to think about getting back to these three main pillars, I would definitely recommend as much as you can read, think, and discuss about the emotional intelligence, right? Soft skills, so to call, because it's one of the biggest thing for the management, I would say. With that's why project management from Google and Coursera also touch the topic and topic of the feedbacks and so forth. So and maybe go to the interview. It's actually still quite a valid suggestion. For example, try to get on interview with Netflix. Try to get all this 6 or how many they have values that they have in there. Read and remember, because you will prepare before the interview, and definitely read them one more time and think about your answer. So with that, you will think about what they actually do in Netflix and how they're different from other companies, and maybe bring some of those ideas back to your company. So going to the interview and keeping this skill sharp, I would say, not the worst idea.
Okay, I guess that's it. We still have a few minutes, so if people actually, I think we have a question. Yes, but you answered this, right? Is it it's just the last one that you answer? That makes sense.
This is really important if your technical stack is totally different from a team where you wanna be engineering manager.
Oh no, that's the one we haven't answered. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the answer for this?
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking about it. It really depends from perspective and from the company. For example, in United States, they quite often hire a software developer, and they don't care what languages you were writing before. So if you're a software developer or like software engineer, you will figure out. If you never wrote in Python or Ruby, but you wrote in Go, you will figure out. It's like the American kind of approach to it, much more different than, I would say, European one, or specifically it's like Ukrainians. Of course, we are looking for people that specifically was writing in this and working with this language and this framework. It doesn't really work like that. So if you are experienced enough engineer and know one of the domain at least quite deeply, it will be yeah, a challenge for you, but no, not a huge one in terms of figure out how it's going on with other stack in other uh, and other like another domain. It's like switching maybe from from banking kind of app that you are developing then to IoT devices and start writing in C specifically for I don't know, or C for games, right? Games engine. That can be a challenge that is hard to trick. It's like, but switching inside one team and different organization when you already work on front end, switching, you already understand that you worked with API, know even some problems in there and so forth. Switching there with the knowledge from front end and helping to lead the teams there. Yeah, you'll probably have an issue that you will need a little bit more of a time and struggle to establish your kind of authority for guys and show you, so they get the respect for your decisions. They understand they accept you as a manager, right? That will be a challenge, definitely, but it will be even if you are just new coming engineer manager and you work with the same stack, but you come into the new team, you will still have this process. Maybe it will go easier a little bit, but still about the same issue. So I would say inside one company, it's quite even a safer move than between
So Maxim
companies.
actually some details about his case. So in my case, I use background for backend team management, for example.
Yes, he's switching from iOS background for backend team management.
For backend team management, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it. No, once again, I think since you still did technical work and quite deep, you still work with all the APIs and you have experience with that. If you put enough years even in that company, so you know API quite good from one of the ways, and it will actually be quite beneficial because you will then know how like apps using that API, and you can easily imagine how front-end using that API and what calls they did, but you will just need to figure out what's going on inside the API, whichever language it's in. They quite often have the same problems. So basically, how we change API without breaking thing. If we had enough backend developers comparing to front-end developers, we know not overloading the business logic on the front end, moving everything there. With that, we are creating two big pull requests for the backend, and it's like the game is still the same. There's like not so much difference in there, and you will figure it out rather quickly, I would say. The biggest thing still will be with the people, so they accept you, so there's so you establish the authority there, and then you rather quickly can manage and figure out with them. Again, if you have enough emotional intelligence and social skills with the guys, usually it's not such a big issue. With the backend devs, it's maybe stereotypical from my side, but it's still the main issues there, usually is the timing, because you need some amount of one-on-ones before they accept you and start actually sharing with you and be open with some issues and so forth. But in terms of guiding them and helping them, if you show that you are there for them and you build this kind of trust environment, and after some time they see that they can trust you with their problems, that will not be an issue. In terms of another company, it will be more challenging. Yes, because you still need to pass this this gate of the interview. And another company will, if they need backend engineer manager, for example, and they approximately understand their role, or they need full stack engineer manager, it will be a bit trickier because they will have they will have the expectations. So you need to show them either that you meet this expectation or that you will be quick enough to meet this expectation and so forth. So you will need to convince them about that. That's it. Basically, we are on the market always, right, with other companies and with the open roles. And you need to convince them. So among the other candidates, you're the best one, and you'll fit the quickest one. Really depends from the timing, from the luck. How good will go the interview, and how will you match with the people who will do the interview. But yes, you are right. It will be more challenging that within the company. That's true. Yeah, no problem.
Yes, I guess that was the last. We still have a few minutes, so if anyone wants to ask additional questions, we are open to this. But I just want from my side to thank you, Artem, for all of these very bright answers, very detailed and very deep. I'm sure that our participants, they actually found the answers to their question, and they will leave this event being different people now. And I hope that these new knowledge will help them to develop in their career path. And I know that a lot of people couldn't join us online, but they will have this video. So maybe if they have some additional questions, I will forward these questions to you. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, to all the participants, to spend your time with us. Artem, thank you again so much for sharing your knowledge, for sharing your experience.
Thank you. Maybe if we still have time, we put the IE stuff for the last, right? Let's talk a little bit of the hot topic.
Yeah, it's a very hot topic on others. So we also had, a few months ago, we had the Ask Me Anything session for front-end development. And I remember there were a lot of questions about, is AI going to, replace front-end
development?
Yeah, and all these kind of things. So if you can add some information on this part, would be wonderful. AI, anything you want about this? Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead and ask the question in the chat if you are curious. And it's but most of that I see is people afraid: will we be replaced? Will AI next day? Will our founders or non-technical people will start writing all the requests and all that prompts and do vibe coding, and they will get rid of all the engineers. Yeah, I'm happy to say to you that no, my point of view on that one, no, and one more time, no. We will not be replaced with AI. With that how much of it, populated and people saying they produced the full apps without even talking with the developers and when they deploy it and so forth. But more and more on Upwork you can find the jobs with guys, I'm stuck with my AI, it's not working. Can somebody technical get in and figure it all out? And the question is, that amount of code is growing rapidly, and even inside my company, I'll be honest with you, we'll see there's some fixes. This is minus 1,000 line of code plus 6,000 line of code. I mean, how you can even review that, guys? Are you sure that you are doing will work on this feature and so forth? Yeah, it's sometimes it's not on the main and core logic and so forth, but still. What I see will happen and what will be dramatic difference and so forth. A lot of models. There is even a website. I forgot right now. I can't find, but I will not hit my keyboard. It will be too loud for you guys. There is a website that comparing the accuracy for the models, how much accurate they to real technical tasks, and this is some 70% or some the top models right now. 70%, for example, in DevOps means this 30% of times the website will be down. Are any of the business ready for that, right? 70% what means it's sometimes our build fails, but we don't know why. Right? No, this is mean that people can produce code with much higher speed and stuff, but what's left imaginary and inside the head of the developers is actually to build the architecture, to understand how it all will work together, and also to stop we become that we less write code but much more read code. But for reading, you actually not need to have quite deep knowledge, and at some point understanding when the solution is too complicated, when the AI is hallucinating or stuff, and the recent really funny, I think, videos I actually watched today from the Primogen, is quite famous US blogger, that I think in Meta, head of security of AI something in Meta, worked with AI agent and give it full access to its mail, so it delete all of that mail when it's in. Please clear up my mail. It delete all the mail till current date. Plus the I think it was the girl looking at the messages. Will it still processing and deleting? Stop. and actually the process is running. It's deleting all the email and it can be stopped. So giving access for your AI to production. Or for example, still that I'm looking at some recent interview with the DevOps, with the guys that on the conference and so forth, looking for somebody who implementing AI on DevOps side fully. No, nobody allowing AI fully in the production. Nobody giving it full access and so forth. So something like from Silicon Valley, from Guilford, when the all code was deleted by AI because AI decided that it's just getting rid of crappy code, is not happening anytime soon. So that means that some companies are kind of saying they are eliminating the roles because it become quicker and so forth. And so forth. With that, Anthropic, just recently, I think maybe less than a month ago, bought Barn. And Barn is basically is a builder for JavaScript and so forth. They build Anthropic that say we can write anything without any technical people, but somehow they are buying JS Builder, and most of the things people saying they buy it, yes, for to easier incorporate in the ecosystem and use it so forth, but second big reason they are buying it for the developers, for the guys that build off that and so forth. So I think, and if you I saw it just today that amount of technical jobs, the job posting in US is actually start rapidly growing. So I think people, just
very
message
promising.
from today. So I think, actually all this AI stuff is really promising for the people that can read code and build architecture and so forth. And you have challenge also, so to say, for engineering managers, because they will manage less people, more of AI stuff, but do more architecture and maybe deep thinking, but there will be a line from companies for people that can do that. So I'm quite optimistic about that. No, not ever closely to firing good developers. The good companies is understanding that now is the time, and I think GitHub probably said it already also half a year ago. Now is a golden time for actually hiring good developers. So if you're good in your field, try to find the way how to stimulate yourself to be even better, and your future is good. Just try to keep up, use all this AI stuff and play with it, because it's helping you maybe to write tests, write some things that it's not so important, play around with prompting it properly and configuring all the stuff. It can do for you the boring stuff, but then you are leading it in the architecture, you are leading it to the building something new. Actually, I think some amount of the developers will switch to actually be a creator or be founders of of a companies, because it will be easier now for them to do that. So that even more will create a deficit for good senior level developers that can build an architecture, understand what they are doing, deeply understand the system, and understand the productivity of it, and how to then make it better, how to increase the performance, because with the performance, AI, I think, will keep struggling. So maybe specific parts, but overall the system, it will still need a lot of human thoughts and good engineers. So I don't think even close we are to everybody gets fired because of AI. I think the opposite. The thing is just a little bit how with drones, why the drones change as a part of the house. Also, it will disrupt the industry and change the industry, but the industry is probably stay the same. More of it, I hear from the people that long enough, not as long as I am in here, that they were seeing the same things, that everybody will be fired because the personal computer is coming. We don't need to go to have a terminal. Everybody will be fired. So we are living to the next wave, but believe me, the golden days of developers and so forth, not in the past, they even coming.
Oh, that's that's a very good thing to say at the end of the event. Very promising, very inspirational. And that's true, with all of this time we were thinking that something will replace us, but nothing is replacing us and we still need to work. So basically, it's still our job to do. And at the same time, yes, AI is a good instrument and it can help. So we all need to know how to work with this. But yeah, the opinions that I heard from different developers in different technological domains and stuff, they're saying that no, it's not about the replacing, it's about, changing the industry. The world is never going to be the same anymore, but it's not about the replacing, it's more about the helping. And and we have common that the mental burnout, one of the things that we already start to get from day-to-day using of AI. That's yes. Sometimes people use it too much in the instances when maybe it's not needed.
I would say stress. It's surrounding us, and many stressful things, including maybe that we think is not harmful for us. It's like, I don't know, doom scrolling and stuff is happening. So I encourage you, you need to think about uh, mental health before it actually become a burnout for you. So keep an eye on it, and try to think about it. It also a part of work. So I'm trying to say to myself, it also a part of work to rest. It's also the part of work to disconnect from the gadgets. It's also part of work to go for a nature or do some activities that actually give you energy back, empowering you and so forth. So be mindful about this. Try as much as it possible, or a situation helps you to find the way to stay healthy, to think about your mental capacity and mental part. So don't burn out, please. And it's like so many things in front that we need your smart brain to change this world and to be proactive and productive and happy. So please find a way, and don't burn out with AI or without.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We need to take care of ourselves. Otherwise, no matter, how good we are in our knowledge or how productive we want to be, if the mental health is not there, if we don't rest, the productivity is not going to be there as well, and the performance is not going to be there. So,
Yeah, if you need, don't hesitate to ask for help. Psychology, psychiatry, everything is like maybe to change your routine, ask for help with your HR and so forth if you see that burnout is coming. But please keep an eye on yourself. It's like Burnout and all these mental issues not a joke. It's actually, especially
Especially
in tough
nowadays, yeah.
times. Yeah, especially in these times of war and everything that's going on in the world. It's tough, yeah, by itself.